of the hardest-hitting, most unforgettable battles in Avatar didn't come from the Avatar himself. They came from the women who redefined what bending could look like. Toph crushed egos with her bare feet. Azula weaponized chaos. And Korra fought like every punch had a point to prove. So today we're counting down 10 of the most epic fight scenes led by the fiercest women in the Avatar universe.
Let's do this.
Whenever people talk about Sozin's Comet, it's usually all about Aang versus Ozai or Zuko and Katara versus Azula. And fair enough, those fights were amazing. But one scene that still doesn't get nearly enough love is the airship takedown. Even though Toph isn't in the spotlight during the finale, she still gets some of the most underrated moments. And helping take down the Fire Nation's airships is easily one of the biggest. She basically turns herself into Iron Man with metal bending, moving around, punching, and wrecking everything in sight. But you see, Toph's strength isn't just about raw earthbending power. It's about how she thinks. She's bold, inventive, and somehow still in her element even when she's nowhere near the ground.
Have I ever mentioned how sweet it is that you invented metal bending?
You could stand to mention it more.
During the Red Lotus attack on the Northern Air Temple, Kaya steps up to protect the Air Nation, and ends up face-to-face with one of the group's most dangerous benders, Ming Hua. At first, Kaya has the upper hand. She lands clean hits and even knocks Ming Hua off the side of the temple. But that edge doesn't last long. What follows is a fast, brutal clash between two master waterbenders. And honestly, it's one of the most underrated battles in The Legend of Korra.
I see you're having as much fun as I am.
When Team Avatar visits a quiet village in the Fire Nation, they meet Hama, a fellow Southern waterbender who instantly sees something special in Katara. At first, it feels like a dream come true. Hama teaches her advanced techniques like pulling water from plants and even from the air. But then comes the real lesson, one that flips the entire episode upside down.
Blood bending.
Katara is horrified. The idea of controlling someone's body against their will feels like a betrayal of everything waterbending stands for. She refuses to learn it, but Hama doesn't give her a choice. Still, Katara doesn't back down. With the power of the full moon behind her, she manages to break free, not just from Hama's grip, but from the emotional weight of the moment. Their fight is intense, with both waterbenders showing just how powerful they are. Katara uses a clever move by standing her ground and blocking Hama's water attacks directly, a technique that feels more like earthbending than waterbending. The unexpected style catches Hama off guard and shifts the momentum in Katara's favor.
We know what you've been doing, Hama!
Give up! You're outnumbered!
Things with the Equalists start spiraling quickly, but that's when Team Avatar shows up all set to throw down. While Korra and Mako go straight for the mecha tanks, Asami takes on the Equalist foot soldiers like she's been preparing for this her whole life. Armed with nothing but her electric glove and a ton of grit, she knocks them down one after another, giving Tenzin and the captured metal benders enough time to make their escape. It's one of those moments that reminds you Asami isn't just the tech genius of the group, she's a fighter through and through.
Thank you.
Zaheer.
After gaining airbending from harmonic convergence, Zaheer sneaks onto Air Temple Island, posing as just another new recruit. But once his real identity is revealed, it leads to a showdown with Kaya, the daughter of Avatar Aang and Katara. Most people think of Kaya as just a healer, but this moment proves there's way more to her than that. She goes toe-to-toe with Zaheer, using advanced techniques like fluid water rings and a massive spinning water gimbal that's honestly just beautiful to watch. The battle is fast, intense, and surprisingly balanced. Zaheer's agility and new airbending skills really push her, but Kaya holds her ground and stays in control. In the end, Zaheer gets away, but not before giving her a rare nod of respect. And that alone says a lot about just how powerful Kaya really is.
I need some help!
As Kuvira and her entourage travel through the Earth Kingdom, they come across a town under constant threat from bandits. When the attackers try to ambush them, Kuvira shuts it down fast, with sharp, precise metal bending that gives them zero room to fight back. One of the scariest things about benders like Kuvira is how easily they could kill. The control, the accuracy, the speed. If she wanted to, those bandits wouldn't have made it out alive. But instead, she dismantles them flawlessly, leaving them begging for mercy and surrendering to her command. You don't have to agree with her methods, but you can't deny, Kuvira's got style.
Do you really want to fight me?
Yes, I really do.
Zuko! I was wondering when you'd show up, Zuzu. Zuzu?
Aang's decoy leads him to an abandoned town, where he's confronted by Azula. Just as things are about to go down, Zuko shows up and throws himself into the middle of it, declaring his intent to fight her. That kicks off one of the wildest three-way battles in the entire show, with Aang and Zuko briefly teaming up against a shared threat. This is honestly one of my favorite fights. Aang is out of his mind tired. Zuko's probably in the worst mood of his life, and Azula is absolutely loving it. The action kicks into high gear as Azula corners Aang inside a collapsing building, but the cavalry shows up, Katara and Sokka first, then Toph, and finally Iroh. Together, they manage to surround her. However, in a moment of distraction, Azula strikes Iroh, injuring him and creating an opportunity to escape. Even though she doesn't technically win, the fact that she escapes a group of 5 elite fighters without a scratch says it all. Azula doesn't need brute strength. She wins with precision, patience, and psychological warfare. That's what makes her so scary.
Enemies and traitors, all working together.
Suyin and her family had been captured defending Zaofu, so Team Beifong set out on a mission to break them out right in the middle of Kuvira's big cannon demonstration. What followed was an all-out bending brawl, with the entire Beifong family going up against Kuvira's forces. It was insane in the best way. Despite knowing Kuvira would be ready for them, Suyin still made it personal. As Toph's daughter and a master in her own right, she wasn't about to back down, and she managed to get a one-on-one duel with Kuvira. And damn that fight! Su had experience, no doubt, but Kuvira's precise, calculated style gave her the edge. Honestly, this scene never gets old. The choreography, the animation, it's so clean and intense. Huge props to the animators and fight designers. They killed it.
Okay, I guess this is how it's going to be.
During a heated argument, Lin accuses Suyin of being the reason their mother's career ended in disgrace. Suyin fires back, claiming Toph retired as a hero, and that Lin's bitterness comes from her refusal to change. Then Suyin hits a nerve, bringing up how Lin's attitude pushed Tenzin away. That's when everything explodes. What follows is one of the most personal and emotionally charged fights in Legend of Korra. The sisters clash in a brutal metal-bending duel, with years of resentment behind every strike. Their family watches from the sidelines, especially Opal, who steps in just before things go too far.
What are you two doing? You're sisters! Why would you want to hurt each other?
In the series finale, Kuvira brings the full force of her ambition to Republic City, piloting a massive, spirit-powered mecha suit that towers over everything in its path. Korra, backed by her team, fights to defend the city from total destruction. The clash reaches its peak when Korra infiltrates the mecha and confronts Kuvira in the control room. What follows is an intense back-and-forth battle that shows just how evenly matched these two really are. Strength, skill, and sheer willpower on both sides. But things spiral out of control when Kuvira's weapon goes haywire. The suit becomes unstable, triggering a massive explosion that sends both Korra and Kuvira into the spirit world, not just ending the fight, but setting the stage for a moment of unexpected connection. Which of these fights was your favorite? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, because we've got way more Avatar battles coming your way.